There I am. You're seeing me. I'm sitting there just looking at this thing. I apologize, everybody, for what happened earlier, I guess about 20 minutes ago. My computer locked up, and then when I tried to reboot it, um, it had to do some update or something. One of the problems that I know this is going off on a tangent that really has nothing to do with Unfound, but one of the issues that I'm having in my new place is that when I move my laptop from here out to the couch or anything else, my battery doesn't charge. When I plug it in, it doesn't automatically charge. And this is a problem that a lot of Dell laptops have. Just because I plug it in doesn't mean the battery starts charging. And I think that that's part of the problem. I think. And I don't know how many, but I just wanted to extend and apologize to all of you who are listening. And I don't know what I can. I hate that. I just got to tell you, I hate it when things don't go right. Cherie knows. And so let me just, of course, the other video, I'll have to check it out and see if I'm going to have to edit it or whatever else. Being that I have to go to the airport, I'm going to have to leave at about 10:30 to get there on time. So I have about 20 minutes here. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to continue to, let me make sure this is charging. Okay. And, if everybody catches this, if everybody can get back in, I would not blame anybody if they didn't want to get back in on this. But I think I completed my thought on the law there in Australia that it seems like a good idea, but I'm really not convinced that it is. All right, I'm just not. Let me see where I was asked about that. No body, no parole law. I, it sounds good, but I just don't think it would have the desired effect. This is one of those things that would be a good law. It feels good to pass, but I just don't think that it would have the total effect that you think. And I say that with all due respect to all the families who look at that and say, man, that might be something that could help me out. Okay. I think that I've already gone through those things, and I think I got through that before the last video messed up. Russell, Heather, Pamela, Derek, I can understand if, we only have a few people watching now, which, I understand. Hey, Bree, what's going on? I just want to cover a couple quick things here. And yeah, I'm back and you're back, Bree, but we only have like 6 people watching, which I totally understand. I would get so frustrated about all of this. And like I said, I think it has something to do with the battery level getting low on my computer, even though it's plugged in. As I stated before, I think everyone went to bed. And you know what, Bree? I would not blame them. All right? I think that's what I deserve. But I just wanted to get through this, and I can probably, these are probably going to be 2 separate videos, and everybody's going to see them. They're going to have a good laugh about it. Lacey Buenfil. There was a mistake on her death certificate, so her kids are not going to be, so that's what's hanging up with that. I don't know what the mistake was, but I read that. I wanted to cover that. So all of you can look into that. Of course, that's a disappearance that happened just a couple hours away from where I live. The meetup in Amarillo, I was talking to Charmin today. She's working on that. I think it's going to be later in July, not like the beginning of July, but later in the month. If anybody can make it to that, she's putting a lot of hard work into that, and she has my full support regarding that. I think it'll be a nice turnout, and we are going to be covering an Amarillo disappearance next Friday. So I hope to get that family involved with it as well. And then I hope that Penny, Thomas's mother, is going to be there and everything. I hope that it'll be something that will be really good. And I would love to have this new family that I'm going to be doing the interview tomorrow for next Friday. I'm hoping that we can make that happen where they get involved in too. And it's a much older case than Thomas's is, so I'm sure that they would enjoy trying to network with other people in the area and see what all of you can do. Another thing that I didn't get to, I signed a contract with Steve Rotfeld Productions out of New York, and I'm going to be working with them to try to create some sort of TV show. All right. There's no money involved in or anything like that. It's just a contract where we can start throwing ideas back and forth, and where I won't be allowed to talk to any other production companies about anything like that for 6 months. I had a conversation with one of their people last week, and now I feel like I can talk about it, being that I signed a contract with them. Once again, no money or anything, just talking. You know, they have my attention, I have their attention, and I'm thinking this will be some sort of nonfiction program. But like I said, we're going to have to throw around some ideas. And as you know, I wouldn't be a part of anything that does not represent the missing persons community in the correct way. And I told them that, and they know that. Whether it's going to go anywhere, I have no idea. We know TV is so tough, a lot tougher than podcasting. So there's that. So Steve Rotfeld, you can look up. They've won some Emmys. They're out of New York. They do a lot of nonfiction stuff, a little reality TV stuff, but they've gotten some accolades, and I feel real good about it. We'll see where it goes. You know me, I'd be just happy doing this, what I'm doing right now, doing the books, doing the show, doing the episodes, doing YouTube, etc. But if I have an opportunity that is the right opportunity to be on TV and getting more of these cases out there, etc., then I will look at it. But trust me, I am not like a lot of podcasters who are only doing this hoping they get on some TV gig or something. That is not me. I'm perfectly happy what I'm doing right now. Totally fulfilled. And speaking of TV, I wanted to talk a lot more. I'm having to rush some of this because I'm under a time constraint. But have any of you ever seen that TV show Missing that plays on Sunday mornings? Now that I have TV and everything, I see it. And I guess now that I've signed this contract, I can't get involved with them or anything. Yeah, I'm back a little bit. A lot of computer issues going on that I'm going to hopefully work out by this time next week. There's just a lot of things at the setup I've had for like even going back when I lived in Madeira Beach that I didn't quite like, and going to be changing those things. Pamela, you haven't seen it. It's called Missing. It's on Sunday mornings, and all it is like a guy hosting it, and it just posts pictures of missing people. What's on here in the Tampa area, I've had some friends in Las Vegas tell me they've seen it, and it's been around, I guess, for years. It's syndicated, and I think it's usually on that ENI channel or something like that. You do a search for it, you'll find it. It's syndicated, and it only plays in certain markets, I guess. And I was watching it Sunday morning while lying in bed, and I was thinking, this show needs some help. Now, given what I just said about working with Steve Rotfeld Productions, I probably can't get involved with something like that. But please, if you're out there and look for your local listings, do a search for it on Google or whatever, and you will find it. It's just a show called Missing. It's on Sunday mornings. It's called Missing. Yes, Pamela, that's what it's called. Yes. And it just, I guess they've been doing it for years, so I'm guessing it's popular or something. But I had been told about it before, and some people told me, you need to see this thing. And now that I've seen it, I think that I could give them some good advice to make the show better. And in fact, when I watched it Sunday morning, Jeff Nichols' case was on there, and then the Zaharias children were on there as well. And they cover like about 20 cases in a half hour or something like that. And it's just a picture with stuff. Bree says you've seen it. Okay, Bree. Well, Bree, you have seen it. Okay. I does it have a narrative or just pictures? It's just pictures of missing people, and then a guy pops in who is the producer of the program, pops in, says something, and they have tips on, kids, if they're home alone, or stuff like that. Yeah, but it does it. Hello, Cherie. Yes, Cherie, you did find. Um, I just wanted to finish this up, Cherie. I felt bad about what happened before. And I think it's my laptop because it's not charging correctly. I think that's the issue. But I was just talking about the TV show Missing. Everyone's finding their way back. Well, I'm going to be able to talk for about another 15 minutes, then I got to go. I don't want to keep my dad waiting. I can get over to the airport in about a half hour. So his plane's landing, I think, at 11 o'clock. I should probably check that. In fact, let me do that right now, real quick, to see if his flight is on time while I take up. It's on one of those channels like 2.5 or something. I'm sure it's a different channel in each market, but I know it's on the channel E&I or something like that here in Tampa. So, that's boarding. No, arrivals. Arrivals from Pittsburgh. Let me see. Arrivals from Pittsburgh. Now 11:20. So I got time. All right. His plane's not going to land to 11:20. We got all sorts of time here, people. No, please, I won't keep my dad waiting. No, I can get there in like a half hour, and his plane's not landing till 11:20. I just checked the status right here. So, it was supposed to land at 11:05. Now at 11:20. So we got time. We got time. But this Missing show, I want um, I want you to. Dads are singular. Everything else can wait. Oh, okay. Thank you, Cherie. Yes, I know that. But I want you to be looking for this program because I'm probably going to be talking about it a bit in the future. Always working until the last minute. Yes, Cherie, that's right. And Miranda, thank everybody for finding the program again. I think this is a battery issue with my program. And when it gets so low, then the computer freezes up. Even though it's plugged in, it should not lock up. It's plugged in. It's getting electricity. I don't know. But I wanted to talk about it. It's syndicated. And Cherie, in your area, I'd really like you to see if you can find that Missing TV show in your area. Okay, your local listings, because I would like to have a conversation with you about it privately. We could talk about something approaching that company, about maybe helping them make the program better. What's the TV channel? In Tampa here, it comes on the E&I channel, like a small E, small I channel, which is a channel that I don't even watch, but I was clicking through and I've seen it the last couple Sundays and I've watched it. I don't think that I watched that channel for anything else. Is it OEIE? I don't know. I just know it's like when the video was messing up, the Wirecast logo wasn't on the screen. Miranda, you're probably right. You're probably right. But that TV show Missing, please check it out. What time in the morning? It's Pamela. I'm going to say, like I said, it's syndicated, so it can come on at different times. It's on early here. It's like 7:30 in the morning on Sundays, or 8 or 7 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, 8 in the morning here on Sundays. But it's syndicated, but once again, that means a channel buys it and then they can air it anytime they want. So, Pamela, in your area, it might be something different. So, I just want to continue to I'm going to be posting something about that in the group about people that have seen it. What do they think about it? Because I would like to get some feedback on that if Cherie and I are going to have a conversation about contacting. What is the name of the program is called Missing, Missing. That's what it's called. So there's that. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about the McStay family. Charles Merritt was found guilty, and I have to admit that I never really believed they went to Mexico. I had always believed that they were murdered, although I didn't know it was Charles Merritt that did it. But it seems to me in the McStay case that they went off on all these different tangents. When now that we look back at it now, they found out that Merritt was bouncing checks after the fact and taking from the business account, and he was the last person who talked to them. He should have been the focus since day one. Instead, once again, I think that all these other things got caught up. They were allegedly on a video walking over the border into Mexico, and of course the car was found down there. But if they really wanted to disappear, why would they park their car right where they were going to walk across the border? It makes no sense. So that trial ended, and I guess he may get the death penalty or something. Sheree, you followed that case from the beginning. Yeah, I figured he was disgruntled, Pamela. Yes. Yeah, I guess he was. It just, they covered that show on Disappeared, and I don't, Sheree, I don't think I followed the case like you did, but I just got the idea, even well before I started Unfound, that this case didn't seem very focused. The investigation didn't seem very focused. Too many tangents. And they found out that Merritt had a gambling problem. The issues that I have is that, are we to believe that he did this all by himself? Did he kill the father, the mother, and the kids all by himself? Did he go out in the desert and dig all those graves all by himself? I just wonder if there are some other people involved in this that just haven't gotten caught up in it. I have that written in my notes here. Derek said Charles Merritt betrayed his business partner, and why kill his family and not just him? Pamela, do you know how many states have the death penalty? I don't, Pamela. Did they have several LE agencies, law enforcement agencies involved? I think they did, Pamela, because I think they were even looking for them in Mexico. So yes, even the Mexican government was involved. So I would say yes. Sheree says, I spent many Fridays and Saturdays watching the trial. I think he acted alone, so sad. So I guess what we're saying is that he probably killed the father first, to get him out of the way, then killed the mother and the kids. Digging 4 graves, that's a lot of work. And, it's one of but in this case, it just shows you how much luck is involved in finding bodies. If those motorcyclists aren't out in the desert out there, probably never found. I mean, their bodies were totally found by accident. No searches had ever been out there. There was no reason to think they were out there. So that was part of the good luck in that case, that they did find the remains that could push the investigation forward. 2 babies buried in the desert. They all thought, I know. So, hey, Jasmine, what's going on? I know what you're saying. Weren't you just on it? I was. And I'm trying to make up for it now. And I got a few more minutes. Then I'm going to have to go. But I just wanted to finish this up because I feel horrible about what happened earlier. So Charles Merritt allegedly did this all by himself. And I'm going to have to keep that in mind, because usually when I think about people burying, 4 bodies, even if 2 of them are children, that's a lot of work. And I guess we're to believe that Charles Merritt did it by himself. Yeah, Derek. Thank you for bringing that up, Derek. I deeply appreciate it. Yes, it's the anniversary of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman being murdered. I absolutely do believe OJ is guilty, and I happen to believe if he did that today, he would have been convicted. Yes. And thank you, Derek, for bringing that up. I didn't put that in my notes. No motorcyclist, no McStay case. That's right. Sure, that's as simple as it gets. If those motorcyclists aren't out there tearing up the desert, having a good time and everything, bodies never found. There would have been no reason for anybody to look in that area. All right, let's get to this Friday's case, and then I think I really need to go. The disappearance of Kristine Hamilton. I found out this case through Emily. Emily contacted Kristine's brother, Matt, first, and I talked to him. And then I got to talk to Barbara, her mother, who is the guest for this episode. Happened on July 7th, 2005. And from Moreno Valley, Moreno Valley, California, which is in the San Bernardino, Corona, Riverside area, very much in the same area where Ashley Kohler disappeared. And the episode is called From a Front Window. And the reason is because Matt actually saw his sister, Kristine, go out and get into a white car and leave, never to be seen again. He actually saw this happen, and I got to talk to him about it. Kristine, like many of the young women that we've been covering on Unfound recently, troubled. Was probably into some drugs, dropped out of high school, kind of near Palm Springs, Derek, but yeah, not, Palm Springs is much more inland, Derek, but yeah, James, what's going on? Kind of in that Southern California area. And she didn't graduate, she dropped out of school. Her mother just got frustrated. She didn't want to go to school, so she just dropped out, didn't have a job, would leave the house for a couple days at a time, hanging out with people, and her mother would go pick her up, and she was walking a very dangerous path. She was on a very thin line, kind of up, get the visualization of a tightrope walker way up there with no net. And she disappeared. And what I've been able to do over like the last 10 days is track down some of the people who knew Kristine at the time. And I've gotten to actually talk to one of them. I talk about it in the interview. And, there's going to be some names that we're going to be giving out in this episode that I hope that the listeners can track these people down. Because I think that they could know something about her disappearance. But there's another angle to this, and it has to do with Barbara's husband at the time, who was not Kristine's father. He adopted her, but he was not her biological father. Well, after she disappeared, Barbara, the guy left the marriage, and Barbara ended up finding out that this guy had a little bit of a past that she didn't know about. And not long before Kristine disappeared, Kristine and her stepfather did have problems. There's some issues. Once again, we talk about this in the interview. The episode, it's about an hour and 50 minutes long. James says Moreno Valley is ghetto. I wouldn't know, James. Laura, thank you, Laura, for tuning back in. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to leave here in a couple minutes because I gotta go pick my dad up. Blaze, scary when young people go off with people's parents don't know well. Yep. Could you give some of the names? Yes, we are looking for a girl that would have been in her teenage years at the time named Reina. Don't know how to spell her name, but she's Hispanic. Unfortunately, when the police did track her down a few years after Kristine disappeared, I think that she was homeless. And we are also looking for who is believed, not proven, but believed to have picked Kristine up that day, a guy whose nickname was Joker. His first name might have been Johnny. He was Hispanic, had a ponytail, probably in his 20s. About 5'5", about 5 foot, so a smaller guy. But he was not seen, it should be clear. He was not seen in the car. All that was seen was the car. It was daylight, but Matt did not get a good look at the driver. But at the time, Barbara thought that it was Joker driving that car. But once again, the police had problems tracking him down because they didn't have his real name. And when they did track him down, it wasn't until like 2010, so like 5 years later. And he goes, I really don't remember. I don't know if I picked her up that day or not. So those are a couple of the names. A couple of the other names that there's a Troy Lynn Proctor. She has a Facebook account. And then there's a woman that I got to talk to. Her name is Yvette, who I've gotten to talk to, and she has been very helpful so far. Unfortunately, she doesn't remember as much as I would like, but I think that she's trying to be helpful. So those are some of the names. You will get more details on these people on the episode, in the episode on Friday. Once again, the disappearance of Kristine Hamilton from Moreno Valley, California on July 7th, 2005. And the episode is called From a Front Window. And the reason it's called that is because that was how her brother last saw her, from a front window of the house, looking out, her walking out, going right to the car, getting in, the car pulls away, and Kristine is never seen again, seemingly. Laura says she's seen the missing TV show. It's very basic. Some of the cases need to be updated. Laura, you're exactly right. I'm gonna really have to go now. It is 10:30, and I got about a half-hour drive over to the airport. So I'm gonna be going now. Once again, to everybody that came back in to tune in, I deeply appreciate it. I apologize. Gonna try to do better next Wednesday. And I have to make sure that this computer is charged. And how old was she? Pamela, she was 18. Kristine Hamilton, when she disappeared, was 18 years old. And my dad will hopefully make an appearance next Wednesday night. I'm looking forward to that. So I got to go. Thank you, everyone. I deeply, deeply apologize for the snafu earlier tonight. Gonna just try to do better. All right. Thank you, everyone. I think we covered everything. And I will see you all. You will hear me on Friday. For Patreon people, you will, of course, see me Sunday night. Good night, everyone. Thank you. I apologize.